Hi everyone, my name's David. I'm a part-time reseller on various apps such as Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Depop. And today I wanted to go over with you about my sales from the last week. I like to think of it as my items. Where are they now? So, apart from today, I also have uploaded this week another video previously where I did a thrift haul. I went over 15 items that I purchased from a local Goodwill, what was sort of my rationale into picking out those items, and what I expected to get for them or how I was going to price them. Those are great videos to watch if you want to get information on sourcing items and seeing what's actively selling. But a couple of those items actually already sold by the point of the end of the week. So we are going to go ahead and go over my sales week and see how I did. It was an okay sales week, not as good as the prior one, but not by any stretch of the imagination a bad one either. So let's go ahead and get started with Sunday, November 27th. I had 4 Poshmark sales. So the first thing to sell on Poshmark on Sunday was a pair of polo jeans. I did a Google Lens situation on these, so I found out that the sort of name of them was the Seavers Utility Denim Chino. They were a very light wash and definitely something from like the early aughts, the 2000s. They sold for $50, which was my full asking price. That means after fees I get $40, and I had about $7.99 into them from a local Goodwill. So my profit for those is a $32.01. I had those listed for about 2 months. I used to pass on polo a lot just because I thought it was kind of something that anyone has access to, but I found that certain things like cargo pants and stuff from the Y2K early 2000s era can do pretty okay. So I've been picking that up more and more. There's not the last that you'll see here in this what sold. The next item to sell was a pair of Figs Livingston scrub pants in navy. I received a $27 offer for those. After Poshmark's fees, I received a $21.60 and I had $5.99 into them. That would mean that I profited on these pants for $15.61. And I did have those listed for about 2 months. The next thing to sell on Poshmark was a pair of pajamas. They were by the brand Print Fresh, and the print was called Bagheera leopard printed men's pajamas, and they were new with tags. And picking up pajamas at Goodwill is amazing because they priced them dirt cheap. I believe they were $2.99, and it was a top and a bottom for and they were new with tags. Like, that didn't affect it at all. They still priced them at that amount. So I received a $50 offer. After Poshmark's fees, I received $40. I had $2.99 into this item, so I received a profit of $37.01. And these sold lightning fast. They sold in less than a week. I think I only had them listed for a couple of days. I think it's probably because of the approaching holiday. Sometimes people like to take photos Christmas morning with their presents and everything. So they want like cute matching pajamas and whatnot. But they sold very quickly, and I'm a little embarrassed just because I had those for a while, but they were just sitting in my death pile. But it's one of those things where you list it and it sells immediately. And that's not the only pajama set that I sold. I had another set of pajamas that were also new with tags that sold almost immediately. They were these cat's pajamas. I love that. And they were called the Saucy Cat print. They were new with tags and probably also pretty expensive retail. I'm surprised. I don't feel like they feel like anything that special, but I received an offer for $65. I accepted it, and after Poshmark's fees, I received $52. I had $2.99 into these new with tag pajamas, and so I received a profit of $49.01, and they sold very quickly. So probably a good idea to keep an eye out for that at your local Goodwill, or even, I don't think there's any sort of thrift stores that really price their pajamas that high. That being said, there's a lot of stuff you definitely want to leave behind that people actually sleep in, but if you come across things that are like new with tags, then it could very well be worth it. The last thing to sell on Poshmark for Sunday was a pair of Takova's dark blue ranch wear straight leg jeans, size 30 by 30. I had them listed at $50, and the application that I use, it's a Google Chrome extension called FLYP. FLYP sent them an offer for $45 because they liked the item. It sent it to them about 5 minutes after, and it offers reduced shipping as well. So on that item, I am taking $34.26 after Poshmark's fees. I had $6.99 into the item, and that leaves me with a profit of $27.29. And these jeans, they sold in under 6 hours. I was I was pretty surprised when they sold that quickly. I've never sold Tecovas before, but I'll definitely keep an eye out for it in the future. On Monday, November 28th, I had 2 Poshmark sales and 1 eBay sale. On Poshmark, I had a sale for a pair of mother jeans. This particular style was called the Looker. They were blue jeans, they were a size 26, and I received an offer for $50. I accepted that offer, and after Poshmark's fees, I received $40. And I had about $7.99 into those jeans. I did have those for a couple of months. My profit is $32.01. The other item to sell on Poshmark on Monday was a pair of Ariat Flame Resistant M5 Slim Straight Leg Jeans, size 33. They sold for $55. That was an offer that was sent to me that I accepted. And after Poshmark's fees, I received $44. I had about $14.99 into these. They were in the boutique section of Goodwill. And so I'm left with a profit of $29.01. And those I did have for several months. On eBay for that day, I had 1 sale, and they were a pair of Taft the Russell loafers in olive. These shoes were beautiful. I wish they fit me, but they were a size 8. I received an offer for $100. I think I had them listed for $150, and I accepted the offer. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where I'm still kind of new to eBay and I underestimated the shipping. I did need a medium-sized flat rate box for these, so that was $4 that came out of my pocket. After you account for, I'm going to guesstimate like 20% for eBay's fees. I know it's not quite that and it varies item by item, but just to have something that I can present in the video, I'm going to say 20%. I would be left with $76. It cost me $27.50 to purchase those, because I got them half off at a Crossroads, which is a buy-sell trade store. So I'm left with a profit of $48.50. Sometimes that's something to look into. Purchasing from Crossroads, from Buffalo, Clothes Mentor, and other sort of resale shops that you're aware of. Just because they might have stuff that's kind of dying of old age in their shops that could do better online. On Tuesday, November 29th, I had 4 Poshmark sales, 1 Depop sale, 1 Mercari sale, and 2 eBay sales. So Tuesday was my all-around day. On Poshmark, my first sale was a J. Crew Italian wool confetti knit mock neck sweater, size small. I received an offer for this one for $30. After Poshmark's fees, I received $24. I had about $6 into them. I purchased it at a thrift outlet store a while back, and so my profit is $18. The next sale I was really excited about because this was something that was in my last haul video. It was the Torrid Spliced Plaid Tartan Wool Blend Overcoat, size 6X. I purchased this just earlier this week at Goodwill, and it was in their boutique section, and it was $14.99, and this was a beautiful coat. I brought it home, I had it in the haul video, I looked it up, and it was super recent. It said that the cut date for the jacket was August 2022, And I looked online, they had good model photos, so I used those in my listing, and it was sold out in every single size. So that was a really good sign. I didn't know that when I bought it at Goodwill, but I'm glad that I trusted sort of my gut. There wasn't a lot of comps or anything really, just because this is a really new jacket. It sold for $100. At Torrid online, it said that it cost $140 new, so I thought 100 would be fair, just because it was in really great condition and it was a really desirable style, clearly. So after Poshmark's fees, I received $80 and I had $14.99 into this item, so my profit was $65.01. Loved that sale. The next item to sell on Poshmark was a vintage Laura Ashley white button-down cottagecore blouse size medium. This item sold for $35. My takeaway after Poshmark's fees is $28. I had $5.99 into this item from Goodwill, and so my profit is $22.01. I thought it was going to sell on Depop just because it's cottagecore and kind of vintagey, but it sold on Poshmark. I had that probably for a couple of months or so. It had some stains and stuff, but it still sold for a pretty good amount. The last thing on Poshmark to sell that day was a pair of Good American Good Legs crop jeans size 28. They sold for $63, and that was an offer sent to the customer by FLYP with reduced shipping. So after Poshmark's fees and the cost for that reduced shipping that I absorbed, I received $48.68. I had $6.99 into those jeans from Goodwill, so my profit was $41.69. It did take a while for them to sell, so I don't know if I will pick that up again the next time I see it, unless it's a really current style. The next thing to sell was on Depop. It was this pair of Guess by Georges Marciano 90s high-rise straight-leg blue jeans size 30. I received an offer for these for $40. I think I had them listed at $50. And on Depop, I do offer free shipping. So after you account for the free shipping cost and the cost of Depop's fees, I received $25.75. And I had about $3.50 into this item, so my profit was $22.25. On Mercari, I had one sale that day, and it was a Patagonia Fishing Outdoors P6 logo channel watcher cap. It sold for $22, and I do offer free shipping as well on Mercari, which was about $5.30. So after Mercari's fees and free shipping, I received $13.36, and I paid about $4.99 for that hat, so I received a profit of $8.37. I believe I purchased this right away just because it has a very high sell-through rate. I had it listed probably for about a week. But in retrospect, I don't know if I'll pick that up again, just because I really didn't make that much on it. On eBay, I had two sales. The first sale was a Saint Laurent 2014 Eddie Slimane black skinny wool suit blazer size 38R. And it sold for $125. That was an offer that was sent to me after, I'm estimating, about 20%. If eBay takes 20%, that would leave me with $100. I had $14.99 into this item, so that would leave me with a profit of $85.01. Saint Laurent is a very expensive label, designer label. These blazers retail for upwards of $700 to $1,000. But this one did have pretty significant damage. It had some marks on the outside, and it also had a lot of tearing on the inside. That's what happens when you make your linings with silk. It's very easy for them to tear. So I did have to account for all those things in my listing, make it very evident, but I'm glad that it did eventually sell. I had this item on Poshmark for probably about a year, and just no movement whatsoever, but I listed it on eBay and it sold within a month. I did wear it pre-pandemic, before pandemic wait happened. I wore it on my birthday. Maybe I'll put a picture here if I'm feeling generous. But It was a beautiful blazer. Last thing to sell on eBay for that day was a Lululemon Cashlu Knit Waterfall Open Cardigan in Pink Bliss. Extra large / extra extra large, new with tag. I received an offer for this one for $70. Assuming that eBay takes 20%, that means I will receive $56, and it cost me $17 for this item. And so that would mean I receive a profit of $39. I purchased it at a resale shop. I mean, they had a tag on it for $18, and I was like, ooh, there's like a nice material, and it's Lululemon, and it's new with tag. Like, I'll be able to sell that super quick. I buy it, I bring it home, and what do you know? It has a security tag on it. And I was like, oh. I call the store, I bring it back to them. They're like, oh, this isn't our security tag. This is Lululemon's security tag. And then I was thinking, there's like 100 Lululemons here in Houston. So I went to the nearest Lululemon, and there was nobody in the store. It was just like one girl working the desk. And I was like, so I have a weird request from you. And you can see the retail tags for this other store here. You can see my receipt right here. And this item, they said that they purchased these from you guys like in sort of like a liquidation thing. But it still has the tag. Can you guys please help me with taking it off? And she was super nice, super professional. She did assist with taking it off, and she checked it in their system, and she said, oh wow, you got a great deal on that. It's still selling for $140. And I was like, whew, yeah, I'll see you later. Bye. On Wednesday, November 30th, I had one sale only, and it was on Poshmark, and it was also Lululemon. It was a Lululemon down to the wire slim fit short sleeve shirt, size medium in like a light blue. It's a men's shirt. It sold for $20. After Poshmark's fees, I received $16, and I had about $3 into this item, so that means I get a profit of $13. Usually you can command a bit more when it comes to men's Lululemon or any Lululemon, but the reason I marked this one down was because I didn't notice until I brought it home that it had some discoloration on the underarm area, and also it had been cropped. It had been like nicely sewn, nicely hemmed, but it was still a bit shorter. It sold very quickly, so I'm glad that it came quickly and it left quickly. The next thing to sell was on Thursday, December 1st. I had one Poshmark sale only, and it was for a pair of Everlane, the Italian Leather Day Ballet Flat Size 7. It sold for $60. After Poshmark's fees, I received $48. I had $7.99 into those. I bought them at Goodwill just the day before. And so I received a profit of $40.01. They sold in under a day, super fast. And I don't blame them. They were beautiful little shoes. I have mixed luck when it comes to Everlane shoes. But some of the nicer, classier styles, the ones that are Italian leather, they seem to do pretty well and sell pretty quick. These were still listed on the Everlane website for $140. On Friday, December the 2nd, I had 3 Poshmark sales and 1 Mercari sale. The first Poshmark sale was this vintage purple tie-dye fisherman sweater size small. It sold for $18. That was an offer sent to the customer by FLYP, so it does have reduced shipping, and that means that after Poshmark's fees, I received $12.68. I had $8 into this item, and my profit on this one is $4.68. I had this sweater for over a year, and I bought it just because I thought it was cool, but it had a lot of stuff going against it. It had no brand, it had no size tag, no material tag, and there's no sort of way to know if the dyeing process was done properly or if it might go into a washing machine and explode. So I am not surprised, looking back at it now, why it took so long to sell. I'm glad it eventually left. I'll be happy if I never see that thing again. The next thing to sell on Poshmark was a vintage 90s Polo Jean Company white ripstop cargo pants size 32. So again, here we are with polo jeans. These are cargo pants though. They sold for $50. After Poshmark's fees, I received $40. I had $7.99 into those from Goodwill, and so that means my profit is $32.01. And I had those listed for probably about a month. They're vintage, they're white, although kind of like off-white. They had a couple of marks, a couple of surface stains. But I knew that this particular style, the fact that they were ripstop and that they were cargo, would work in this item's favor. The last thing to sell for that day on Poshmark was a vintage emerald equestrian knit jacket. It sold for $27. That was an offer sent to the customer by FLYP. So after the reduced shipping cost and also Poshmark's fees, I received $19.88. I had about $5 into this item. I purchased it at a random thrift store that I don't even remember the name of anymore. So my profit on that was $15.88. This jacket I did have for over a year, and it was vintage, it was old, it had discoloration, it had a lot of stuff working against it, and a very obscure label that nobody knows. So if I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't get this one. I put equestrian in the title just because I Google lensed it and I saw that someone else had one and they listed it as equestrian and it eventually sold. So another item that I am glad to be done with. My last sale that day was on Mercari. It was an Anthropologie Carey green tiered tunic peasant dress size large. It sold for $50. On Mercari I offer free shipping. That cost about $7.11. And after Mercari's fees, I receive $35.94. I had about $14.99 into this item. I purchased it in the boutique section of Goodwill, so my profit was $20.95. I have had this thing for probably about half a year. I think that was during the time when I thought Anthropologie was like an instant sell, and it really, really, really isn't. You have to do a lot of research with Anthropologie, make sure that you know the style name, and that you're taking a look at everything else, because if not, you will have that item forever. The last day that we're going to talk about is Saturday, December the 3rd. I had 4 Poshmark sales, 1 Depop sale, and 1 eBay sale. On Poshmark, I had a vintage 90s cachet rockabilly laced blazer size medium. It sold for $45. That was an offer sent by FLYP. So after Poshmark's fees and the reduced shipping cost, it gives me $34.28. I had about $2.25 into this item, and so my profit is $32.03. I bought it at a family thrift center outlet. They have a pricing system where everything in the store is a certain price, depending on what day of the week it is, starting at $2.25. So very cost effective, great place to source. It sold in a few weeks. I thought this would sell on Depop, but it sold on Poshmark. I picked it up exclusively for the style. I'm finding some decent results with using the word rockabilly when it's sort of like country, but also a little with like punk undertones. The next thing to sell on Poshmark was the Sorel Lola cutout ankle boots in soft taupe, size 11. They sold for $75, and after Poshmark's fees, I received $60. I had about $15 into those. I purchased them at Value Village, and I've had them for just about a year. So my profit on those was $45. The next item to sell was vintage Johnston & Murphy Aristocraft brown leather derby size 9. These sold for $15. After Poshmark's fees, I have $12. I do not remember what I originally spent on these. I think the thrift store I brought them at isn't even in business anymore. And I have had these for literal years. One of the tongues on one of the shoes was completely gone. But I like these shoes a lot just because they had a really sort of unique texture on the uppers that I'd never seen before. I'm just receiving $12 in profit from those since I did use them myself. Perhaps they're someone who's going to fix them up and give them a proper second life. The last thing to sell on Poshmark was this Tommy Hilfiger wire fence knit sweater size medium. It sold for $25. After Poshmark's fees, I received $20, and I had about $6.99 into this item, so I received a profit of $13.01. This sweater I thought was absolutely gorgeous. I thought it was going to be a sure sell for $50 or $70 on Poshmark, but lo and behold, I listed it months ago. I'd say it's probably close to a year now that it's been listed, and I never received a single offer until this one. This is a good exercise in not getting emotionally attached to certain items. Of course, if you have something that is legitimately worth a lot of money, then you can be very choosy with your offers. But this particular item, there was no interest, there was barely any likes, so I knew that it was time to pull the trigger. On Depop, I had a sale for a vintage 80s banjo rockabilly, you see that word again, a Western red lace heart cutout blouse size large. It sold for $50, and I did offer free shipping, so that was about $5.88 since it was a very light shirt. And so after Depop's fees, I received $39.12. I had about $5.99 into this shirt, and my profit is $33.13. This was a really cool shirt. It had like a heart cutout. It reminded me a lot of upscale label called Area. They also do sort of heart cutouts and things like that, so I knew that it would do well. I only had it listed for a few weeks. It sold fairly quickly. That was a pure style pickup. The last thing to sell was on eBay, and it was this Polo Ralph Lauren classic nylon black quilted Gillette vest size large. It sold for $50. That was an offer from a watcher. Assuming that eBay takes 20%, then I would receive $40. And on this item, I did have $26 into it, so I would only retain a profit of $14. This is an example of possibly bad retail arbitrage. I bought it at a resale shop, and I probably paid too much into it. Admittedly, I only had it listed for probably a week or two. I probably could have waited around, but my heart wasn't in it, so I let it go for that price. I generated a profit, but definitely not the type of profit that I usually seek out. All right, so now it is time to summarize the entirety of my week. Let's start with Posh. On Poshmark, I sold 19 items total, and my total revenue was $910. After Poshmark's fees and also for some flip offers with discounted shipping, what I am left with is $715.38. The cost of goods for those items that I sold was about $140.12. So that leaves me with a profit on Posh for $575.26. On Depop, I sold a total of 2 items. I generated $90 of revenue from those 2 sales, and after Depop's fees and the cost of shipping, it's $64.87 that I am left with. The cost of goods for those items that I sold was $9.49, so my profit from Depop for the week is $55.38. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I only sold 2 items, so it is perfectly fine. On Mercari, I also only sold 2 items, so my revenue for Mercari was $72. After Mercari's fees and the cost of shipping, I am left with $49.30. The cost of goods for the items that sold on Mercari was $19.98. So my profit for Mercari was $29.32. And last but not least, on eBay, I sold a total of 4 items, generating $345 in revenue. After eBay's fees, we're assuming they're about 20%. That would be $272 left over. The cost of goods for those items was $85.49. So my profit on eBay was $186.51. And now the grand total. I sold a total of 27 items across I sold a total of 27 items across 4 platforms. My total revenue was $1,417, and after fees for the items and for the different applications and the cost of shipping for some of them, I am left with $1,101.55. My cost of goods this week was $255.08. So the profit for my entire week is $846.47. Not quite as high as last week, but I am perfectly content with this amount. It's more than I started with, so all that really matters. I want to take the opportunity to thank you so much for watching until the end of the video if you're still here. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you can to other people that you think may be interested in it. Later on this week you can anticipate an additional video for a haul. I am looking into filming some footage for a thrift with me. I don't think it'll be like a whole 20 minutes or so of thrifting action, but I can definitely include clips of things that I pick up or also things that I leave behind. I think there's also a lot of stuff to learn there as well. I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic sales week.